Thanks, David. Oh my goodness, we're here. Do you know that I got to speak last year? I was really excited. I did the Headshot Redefined, and if you haven't seen that video, you got to go check it out because for those of you, I'm not going to get into it, but David's been amazing, and I just love B&H, and I got emotional about it because when I started my career, you know, it was such a big deal to me to be able to. You know, get my equipment from this store at first, but you guys were the first ones to have me speak, and that makes me emotional every time I think about it. They gave me my first shot at talking to a group of photographers like yourselves, and that to me has been huge because that's not only stimulated my career photographically, but it's got me traveling all over the world teaching what I figured out how to make money at, which is take pictures of people with a camera. How cool is that? Like, people always tell me, like, you're working all the time. I don't feel like I work. Do you guys love photography? Would you do anything? Like, I don't have hours. Like, I don't even know what day of the week it is most of the time. Like, when I go into my studio on Sunday and there's nobody in the building, I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, what is the story? It doesn't feel like work to me. It never has. I don't think it ever will. I turned 50 yesterday. Yeah, thank you. And I have this coming up in the presentation, but I'll just do it now. I was thinking about, I do this thing where I put Instagram up here because I'm big on Instagram, and I post all the time and I do stories. I didn't do a story this morning because last night was a little rough, but, and David had asked me, he said, hey, do you mind opening for us and firing everybody up on February 12th? I was like, February 12th, in the morning, like after my 50th birthday. Oh, okay. So if you go, you can see the stories. But if you get anything, if you do anything on Instagram, post it and I'll repost it. That'll give me stuff to post. Do something. Just do something and post it. But follow me. If you guys are interested, I'm doing a show special, and if you go to that link is in my Instagram. You just click on it from either of the Instagrams, and you can see my coaching and everything. If you do know me or anything that I do, I'll explain what I do and how I do it. But I did this video a long time ago. It was like 2011 maybe. And it was about accentuating the jawline. I think the number one way to make somebody more attractive in a picture is to get their jawline accentuated, right? For most people. It depends on the person. Like, this guy's got a beard down here. I can't even see your jawline. I don't need to worry about you. There's no factor there. There's no problem. But most people have a little action under here you don't want to see, right? See this? So you want to get that out. It's the first direction I give everybody. So I did this video, and I had this girl going back and forth, and I said this word. Do you guys know what the word is? Wait. We can't say it loud this morning because I am milking a bit of a hangover. So I usually start out by yelling shebang to the crowd, but we're going to do a whisper shebang. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Shebang. Thank you. That's what I needed. There we go. So I started out, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I started out as a, where'd I go? I don't know. I started out as a model, believe it or not. I'm going to show you some of my modeling pictures. And then I picked up a camera because of that. And I remember the first thing that I realized was, first of all, I was like not that technical, so I didn't know lighting. I plopped myself on a windowsill and just put the person in front of me and just started shooting. And I realized, wait a minute, so I've got this window light, and it looks really nice. Everything looks good. I was shooting black and white film with that Mania 645 he was talking about. And I was like, but I didn't know what to say to my subject. I was like, what do you say to this person? So last year, I did a whole talk, and I didn't shoot it all. This year, I thought I'd shoot a little bit to show you guys a little bit of how I do what I do. A lot of what I do, I've been doing since I started doing it. You know, all of this is based on repetition, right? I think the final ingredient in portrait photography is direction. So if you guys are directing, I want you to think about how you direct now. Like, I don't think that I think that there's some things, like I can learn everything this light does or everything, all the bells and whistles that the camera does and be as technical as you want. I'm not a technical guy. I put the person in front of the lights, I press the button. If it looks good, I'm good. That's it. I'm self-taught. I did everything myself, but it was all trial and error. I'm a big trial and error guy, all right? So I want you guys to understand that if you get everything technical right, that's great, but if you don't have your subject doing anything, that doesn't do anything for me. I think that it's all about when you're photographing people, right? And photographing people can be daunting. You just heard my story, right? How many people admit it? You don't have to raise your hands or anything, but I know there's a bunch of people in this room that are probably like, I'm not gonna photograph somebody. You're like afraid to do it, right? It's like when you get somebody in front of your camera, they want the best picture of themselves, right? And you want to give it to them, but sometimes you don't know how, or you don't know what to say to them for them to change from their look where they're like this. Right? It's not like when somebody gets in front of my camera, I'm going to get somebody up here. It's not like I'm not going all out to get the best picture that I can of them. I'm an artist. It's not like I go, oh, let me dial it back for this person. Like, do you think that person wants it dialed back? I've never had somebody walk in my studio and say, Peter, I know you're really good, but just pull back the throttle today. I don't need to look that good. I've never had a guy come in and say, look, I got handsome to burn. You don't have to make me as handsome as I really am. No, never had that, right? What do you have when somebody walks in? A human walks in. How many of you don't have to raise your hands in this either, but how many of you had said out loud, well, I'm a photographer, that's why I'm behind the camera, not in front of the camera. I'm a photographer because I don't like being in front of the camera. Yeah, I know some of you have said that, right? So one of my things that I do when I coach is that I get people in front of the camera on purpose because I want you to feel what your subject's feeling and understand how it feels to not be directed. It's horrible. Let's get into this a little bit and see where it's going. But basically, in the next hour, and I'm going to try and do some questions. I'm going to do some shooting. I'm going to show you some of my stuff. I do run the headshot crew. My headshots are my platform, right? I started as a headshot photographer here in the city. My goal was to be the best headshot photographer in the city when I started. I trained for the Olympic Games. That's right. Do you think an Olympian stops like when they pick up a camera to do something else that it just slows down? Like, no. When I decided to be the best headshot photographer in New York, I decided to be the best headshot photographer in New York. I had trained for the Olympic Games and I made the United States sailing team, which I'm very proud of. But I parlayed that right into photography. And I am a trial and error guy. Like, I learned on my own. Like, I don't have sympathy for you guys. I had to pull a Polaroid and wait 2 minutes. You guys got instant gratification. How many people remember those Polaroids? You can raise your hand. There's not many of you. Okay. All right. So when I turned 50, I woke up in the morning and I do this wake up and goals thing. And what was my goal yesterday for the next 50 years? I thought about it. I don't know why I thought about that. I was just thinking about it. I was like, what would my goal be for the next 50? And my goal was that it's as good as the last 50. And why was the last 50 so good? Because I picked up a camera and worked at it. I love what I do. I don't work. I put somebody in front of my camera and I get paid, to do it, to give them something that they enjoy, that they're gonna enjoy for the rest of their life. That's a gift that you guys have been given, that if you don't work at it, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Like, you're sitting here in this room, we are so lucky that B&H, does depth of field for us. And I, Canon sponsors me. I'm an Explorer Light. I get to go all over the place spreading my message because of companies that like this. And I work with Westcott very closely. This is my syndicate that I designed with Westcott. Like, all this stuff is amazing to me. And I'm amazed that I get to do what I love. So I was seriously like, I just hope the next 50 years is good. Now, I don't know if I'm going to make it to 100. I don't know if I want to. But I'll tell you what, if you have noticed, like, how many photographers, like, because this is our passion and our art, we don't stop. Like, you don't just put down the camera. Like, a lot of photographers, are around for a really long time because we're able to produce our art and stay inspired throughout our lives. I'm not putting my camera down. I don't know if you are. The one thing that I realized was when I finished training for the Olympics that I had to work on myself. Like, it didn't matter how technical I got with the camera. You know, it was tough. You know, I picked up a camera, I was broke, I was living in a 5th floor walk-up, and I came back to New York, and I actually got out of that, and my brother had a place on the Upper West Side, and I said, look, I'm broke, can I move in? He goes, he had an empty room. He's like, sure, come on in. And I was there for 6 months, and 6 months later, he's like, you're a loser. He's like, I was just paying like utilities. I couldn't even afford the utility. He's like, you gotta get out of here. And I was like, I never forget it because he was the older brother that always took care of me. And he did a good job at it. But he was kicking me out of the nest. He was like, this is it. And that foot out the door got me into my studio apartment that had the window where I would sit on the windowsill and I would start shooting headshots. And I didn't know that was gonna happen unless he had done that. So there's these little trigger points in life that go down, and I ended up really working on myself. I don't think you're gonna sit here or come to depth of field because you're not inspired by what you're doing as an art form, right? If you don't photograph people now, I want you to get into it. And if you do photograph people, I want you to continue to grow with it. You know, I get complaints from people every day that there's so many photographers. The iPhone is getting so much better. This guy, Jerry down the street picked up a camera. My cousin's got a camera now. Everybody's shooting. I don't care. Do you think I care about them? How many of them are going to be able to charge $1,000 to step foot in front of their camera? Yeah, no. I'm going to stand out from the crowd because I'm going to deliver a product that's better because I worked at it, and so are you. That's what you're going to do, and you're going to put some belief in yourself in order to do it. If you don't work on yourself and where you feel you're at, and if you want to be the norm, be the norm. I was not going to be the norm. I wasn't going to be the norm, so I wasn't going to sit there and do it. You can either fall into the masses or you can stand out. It's entirely up to you. And I just don't want to hear. And when I coach, I don't let people talk to me like that. Like, I don't have time for it. If I had gotten into headshot photography in New York, and how many headshot photographers do you think there were when I started? I don't know. I wanted to be the best one. There were probably like, what? I don't know, 500 photographers trying to do headshots in New York City? I did not care. I didn't care. In 2002, I ran an ad for my first headshot session. And by 2005, I won Best Headshot Photographer in New York. I didn't care how many there were. Did not matter to me. But in order to do it, I had to have goals. You can't do it without goals. How are you going to do it without goals? It was like when I was training for the Olympics. You think the goal was the gold medal, right? You had to have the goal. That's a hard one to attain, and I screwed it up. But hey, you know, I tried. I gave it my best shot. So do we all know where these people are going? You guys are pretty aware how this sport works? There's a ball, you kick it around, it's supposed to go in one of the, what? Goals, right? What if it was like this? Where are these guys going now? They're going to be there a while. So if you don't, like, think about it. Like, you have to have these goals. I work with this guy, Bob Proctor. I'm going to show you something in a minute. But I have a goal card in my pocket that has my goal on it. I carry this thing around. I did not get to be this, and it doesn't stop. It's not like if you don't have another new goal once you attain one, what are you doing? You're running around, you're like on a hamster wheel. You're in a comfort zone. You guys got to push. And you know what the thing is, if it doesn't fire you up, you don't have a chance either. So the goal that you set is you have to be fired up about it. So I want you, if you don't have a current goal photographically right now or in life in general, I want you to make one by the end of this talk. I want you to think about it. Make a goal for yourself. Get some goals going. Fire it up. Inside the headshot crew, we have a success track. Bob Proctor's my mentor in my goal setting. I met him after I had trained for one Olympic Games. I had failed to make the U.S. team. I went to one of his workshops, and he said, are you going to go for the Olympics again? And I was like, I didn't even think about it. And I went, and there's actually a story here. Let's watch this.
I was kind of at this point in my life where I'd spinning my wheels, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I bartended until like 4 a.m. I lived in a 5th floor walk-up with my brother. I went to one of Bob's workshops, and he'd gotten to know me because I kind of was hanging around a little bit. And he knew I had trained for the Olympics, and he was doing a portion on decision making, and he said to me, "Where is that sailor guy?" And I was like, and he's like, "Stand up." And he said, "Why aren't you going for the Olympics?" And this was like beginning of '99. The Olympics were in 2000. I hadn't thought about going to the Olympics. I was like, I had been done. I missed the team. I was like, I'm not going to the Olympics. Well, Bob was doing a 2-day workshop, and this portion was on decision making. He said, "Look, I want you to go home, sleep on it, come back in the morning and tell us if you're going to go for the gold medal." I didn't sleep that night. I started thinking about, what am I doing? I'm bartending till 4 a.m. I'm like trying to make ends meet as a model actor dude. It's not working. I was like, I have this gift of sailing. I should go sail. I go back to the workshop the next day, and Bob says, "Where's Peter?" And I stand up. Bob had this guy who won the decathlon in 1956 named Milt Campbell next to him on stage. And Milt stood up and he said, "I'm going to coach you." I packed up my apartment in New York. I got on a plane. I rented a car out there. I shipped my boat. I got a van, threw my boat on top of it. I started sailing. And in 2000, I became a member of the United States sailing team, something I wouldn't have done if I hadn't made that decision. I finished the Olympics. I made the U.S. team, which was great. But when the sailing was over, I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back to New York and be the model actor bartender dude? And I was like, I can't do that, can't do it. And I decided to pick up a camera. It led into something huge, and it's been great. I'm now considered the premier headshot photographer in the world, and I just wrote a book called The Headshot, and I've been shooting headshots since about 2002. And I coach over 9,000 photographers on headshot photography worldwide. And I have photographers that are my associates in all areas of the globe. So it's been amazing. My purpose is to pull a human expression out of everybody that I shoot that's authentic, reactive, and based on trust. And that's what I try and do every day. I may be shooting their head, but I'm aiming for their heart. And if I can teach people how to behave in front of a camera and be better and capture an image they're really proud of themselves, that's a huge deal. And that's what I do every day, right here.
So they came in. Thank you. Thank you. Bob asked if I did his coaching program, and it really helped spur my career and my work. So he asked me to do a testimonial, and he sent a video guy in. The guy shot one day, and then he said, "Hey, look, can I come back and do B-roll tomorrow?" And I was like, "Look, I don't have time for you. I'm like busy." And then this got spit out. I was like imagining, this is better for me. This is my life story. I love this thing. I loved it. I was like, imagine if he did the B-roll the next day. Oh my gosh. So it was awesome. So I have people that the Headshot Crew is a site where this came up in the forum on the Headshot Crew this week, and it was somebody that was talking to somebody in their town. I didn't want to bring up the whole post. I just wrote what I wrote. Somebody in their town who was a photographer for 40 years, this guy is just trying to start out, looked at his work and said, "No, you can't make any money. This guy's put his heart and soul into it. He's come to Headshot Mania. He wants to get his headshot career business going." And he had a photographer of 40 years tell him, "No, you can't make it in this town. There's nothing going on here," or something like that. I don't listen to that. I don't care where anybody is. I care about their talent. I care about what they're capable of doing with the camera. Somebody who, I've been shooting for 20 years now, and I always say, and Bob, this comes from Bob as well, you're either creating or you're disintegrating. One or the other. We never stay stagnant. It never stays the same. Like, I realize that I'm always pushing to figure out how to better my brand, better my business, increase my sales. One thing that's huge is growing multiple sources of income. Like, I created multiple sources of income, so I'm not reliant on having somebody in front of my camera every day. I have an assistant who booked a job. How many people have a scheduler on their website to book people automatically off the web? Anybody? Okay, you guys are going to work on this. These guys have it. Headshot Crew members have it. So I have it. This morning I woke up And boom, I got it's called an unassisted booking. Somebody goes to your website, your scheduler's there, your rates are there, they hit boom, they pay a credit card, the fee goes in all automatically. I never had that before. I set that up about 6 months ago. And I woke up and I was like, you know what? The booking came in, guess who it came in for? My assistant. Guess what? Because I put my assistant in that position, I get a little piece of the action, right? She shoots in my studio, she does all that. That's one of my sources of income that I have. So now she could be shooting I think she's here though. Brittany, are you here? I don't know where she is. She's awesome. You're here? Hi, Brittany. So Brittany, did you see that booking come in? For tomorrow, you realize you're not gonna be at Joel's. She didn't even see it yet. Did you see it? I'm telling you now. So how awesome is that? So I don't want to talk about her. I can't talk about her. She's like my right hand. I don't know how I run my ship without her. So let's leave it at that. So, like this whole creation disintegration thing, like it's like I thought about it, and what happened was I was running my stuff the same way I was doing it. I hadn't changed my pricing structure since 2002. Do you think that's right? Like I changed little things along the way. So I had this guy come in, and because David told me I should talk about business. How many people want to make money with photography? Yeah? All right, so wait, let me ask you seriously. How many people have charged to photograph a human being? Awesome, okay. How many people would like to charge but haven't charged to photograph a human being yet? Okay, all right, it's good. And if you want to become a full-time professional, you've got to get your feet wet. You've got to start doing this. So what I love it. I want you guys all to be successful, and I want you all to try doing that. What I found was that my pricing structure, I thought it was great. Well, a buddy of mine said, no, I want you to try it my way. And I was like, I'm not changing it. It's been like this since 2002. He goes, it was slow in August or something. So Brittany and I talked about it, and we changed my pricing structure to do something that one of the guys I coached, his name's Tony, he ended up starting from scratch. He was a photojournalist, and he wanted to get into headshot photography. He took my workshop, and he moved to a new town. Brand new town, never had a headshot business. He started first year, he made 100 grand. I was like, that's pretty good. How'd you do that? He goes, well, I developed this system. He was selling Bentleys. I think that's coming up. He was selling Bentleys, and they sent him for some sales training or something like that, and he developed this training method. So he told me he wanted me to do it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to change the thing. I don't know what to do. Anyway, he's like, the second year goes by, 200 grand. I was like, what are you doing? He goes, let me explain it to you. In August, I started it. And there's a method behind it. I'm not gonna have time to explain it, but it basically changed it was the thing that made me realize that I was disintegrating in this field in certain ways. So I hadn't changed the price, so he developed a tutorial for it. Are you guys doing it? Are you TNTing? You both are? Yeah. Is anybody else in the room TNTing? So the TNT method is this new pricing structure that I use, and it's based on, I'll essentially tell you how it works. It made me work harder for my clients, and what would happen is I do a shoot, right? How many of you guys shoot, right? And then you shoot a bunch of pictures of somebody, you edit it down, you get rid of all the closed eyes and the weird mouths and all that stuff, right? And then you deliver to the client how? Tell me. How do you deliver to the client? What? Email, online gallery. Right? And you just give them everything, and they look at it, and they can order retouching or whatever. That's what I did. That's normal, right? You thought that was good. Yeah, I thought it was good too. He said no. He said, why would you do that? He said, why don't you do this? Shoot the best pictures that you can, and consult with the client as you go along for which images they're going to use for their personal brand. I was doing a $300 consulting fee afterwards, but she knows I hated doing this. She's like, no, after the shoot, everybody's gone. So what we started doing was doing this, and now our sales went up immensely. So now the client's getting our expertise to help them pick the pictures, I'm shooting more seriously because I want them to buy more images, right? Because that's what we're doing, we're in business. So they're getting better imagery and we're shooting more stuff. So here.
Oh my gosh, people, I am so excited. You can't believe this. I've got an idea for you that is gonna make you money. It makes me money, it's gonna make you money, and I got a special guy here that's gonna give you all the information that you need to implement a sales structure in your business that rocks.
Ask yourself this, are you happy putting a limit on how much you can earn? Your bottom line will increase. You will earn more money with the TNT method. Simple as that. You're gonna learn how to sell, you're gonna learn how to make money as a headshot photographer, and you're gonna learn how to do it in a way that is not salesy. It's very low key, it's all client focused, client experience focused. You're gonna learn how to change things up a little bit. Are you about to blow up your business with the TNT method or what?
I guarantee if you do it right and you get the right people in front of your camera and you figure out how to do this, it's gonna put a lot of money in your pocket. And to me, that is a major shopping.
All right. So, yeah, I want to show you something. Hold on. Let's see if I have it up here. I thought I had it up here. Did I have it up here? I think I had it right here. So you can go to the tutorial page at headshotcrew.com and see it. And if you want to check that out, you can. But let's talk about like the actual image process. Like if you can't direct your subject, you can't get images that they're going to be excited to buy, I don't think, right? What did I tell you? You have to be in charge from the get-go. Like nobody in here right now, correct me if I'm wrong, knows what their face looks like at this moment, right? And you've all got one, right? So did you suss it out in the mirror this morning? Did you give yourself a once-over before you came in here? At least, right? Did you groom that thing or what happened? You took a little look-see, right? But you know, when was the last time you looked in the mirror? You don't know if you fell apart between the last time you looked in the mirror or not. You got to be careful. So what happens when people get in front of the camera? They don't know what their face looks like. They don't know, because you don't know. So what happens is you guess what it looks like. And the coolest thing that I've learned since I've been shooting, this is seriously, I think it's the coolest thing, is that your brain will try to tell you what your face looks like, but it doesn't know. Let me repeat that. Your brain will attempt to tell you what your face looks like, but it doesn't know. You know how I know that? Because people wouldn't make the faces that they make when they look at my camera if they knew. There's no way. So we're gonna get somebody up on stage, but I'm gonna show you. This is Alfred Eisenstadt quote that I love. When I have a camera in my hand, I know no fear. Do you know how powerful this thing is? This creates power. This gives me my power. It'll give you power. It creates power. I've never had somebody in front of my camera not pay attention to it. Have you ever had that? Once a human knows they're being recorded, it's a big deal. This is up there on people's, list of things that they really care about. Apparently, our appearance is very important. So important that I started a company called, I have a TEDx talk on this. I work with a psychologist now. I'm doing this thing called headshot therapy. And think about, I want you to think, we all have a relationship with our appearance. I want you to think about yours. How's your relationship with your appearance? How do you feel about it? How's your appearance hanging in there for you? You all right? Any of you guys feel like you got a parental hookup? Right? I think my parents, some people got the raw end of the stick or short end of it. What is the saying? I believe as humans, we all have beauty in us. So it's our job. And it's an individual beauty and it's not based on whatever. Society standards change over time, right? Look at what's going on now with like all the beauty stuff. It's great. Like there's like eyebrow things going on I've never seen before. Women, you guys know what I'm talking about. Are you like going crazy with those suckers? But it changes over time. So our job as photographers is to capture the best image of the person at that moment in time. And that's what I try and do with my camera, and that's all I'm trying to do. But it's powerful. So even when I have powerful people in front of me, I get power from this. So if my goal whenever I'm teaching a workshop or coaching photographers usually has nothing, it's like, you know, I'm teaching how to direct and stuff like that and how to get the most out of your subject and how to create beautiful imagery. But the bottom line, that all goes into when they stand here, are they going to be more confident when the person is in front of the camera? So when you're standing here, if you're more confident, guess who feels it? It drizzles off on your subject. I'm really good at this. I'm very confident in what I do. Some would say that that's arrogance, but that's not, because guess what? What's it take? What's Malcolm Gladwell say? I think I've said this before, 10,000 hours to master something. I have not mastered this. And I've shot, I don't know how many thousands upon the 30, 40, 50,000. I don't know how many people I've photographed. You don't master this. This is always a moving, right? It's creating or disintegrating. It's like always moving. I'm always working on being better here. But I'm really confident here. Like when you get in front of my camera, you feel it. And that person better feel it when they're in front of your camera. And if you're not confident here, then that's why you're working. That's why you're working, right? That's why you're here. That's why you're working. That's why you got to photograph as many people as you want, right? I started modeling for this guy. Who knows who this guy is? Bruce Weber is my biggest source of inspiration. He told me to pick up a camera. I listened to him. I thank him in my brain every day. I just got very fortunate. He photographed me for Ralph Lauren while I was sailing. This picture showed up all over the world. Then all of a sudden people thought I was good looking. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know I was good looking. I didn't get the memo. And then they started putting me in other ads. This was my first indication that I didn't even know what Photoshop existed. I had a ponytail. I'm in the middle there, and they just chopped it off and gave me helmet head. I was like, I didn't even know that there was a program that could do that. Then I started doing all this modeling stuff, and I remember having fun with it when I was on sailboats, and I had fun when they dressed me up as a pirate. They put me in some scuba gear. I was doing sock stuff for Hanes. I got to be on a sailboat smiling like a maniac. Oh my gosh, the cheeks were hurting. So how far away is I don't know what millimeter lens this is, but how far away, the boat's being towed, there's an engine in between us. The photographer's like a mile away. The only source of direction that we got was this. He's just going, Chase wanted us all acting like we're having a really good time. My cheeks, I was just like this the whole time. My cheeks were killing me by the end of that one. I got to eat ice cream. It's better than that. I was eating ice cream all day. I remember I asked for more, and the woman was whispering. I heard her. She's like, the model's asking for more ice cream. I'm gonna eat ice cream. I want to eat ice cream. And I ended up pregnant one time. I don't know how this happened. I think it was for Parents Magazine. That was hilarious. I forgot about that shoot. They gave me families. I got all sorts of stuff. I had a fake family. I was doing this. I was doing that. But you know what? The thing is that since I didn't figure this out until I was a photographer. I didn't know that I felt this way. But what I realized was, a lot of models, like I just got thrown in front of camera. I didn't go to Barbizon. Nobody taught me how to walk down a run. I didn't walk down any run. I was not a run. I'm not my thing. But I was like doing these ads, and this was for Wrangler. I was a Wrangler guy for a while. And I got out, and they flew me to North Carolina. And the photographer, I think I look cool. I'm like doing the models have like 5 moves, right? I was like doing my move, looking off, the gaze off into the distance move. There it is, right? So, but I still connected with that photographer. Then they threw me in a studio I had the jeans on, and they threw me in a studio back here in New York. And I'm standing, and the client and everybody's in front of me. I love this story because I tell it all the time, but it really drives home my point. When a model's on a white cyc and you got nothing going on, like when I was sailing and modeling for Bruce and stuff like that, I'm active doing stuff, and Bruce was amazing at connecting with his subject. It's one of the things that inspired me the most about him, is the way I felt on that shoot. He really cared about what he was doing. My first experience with him, he just asked me about myself, and and made me feel real comfortable and then photographed me, and those pictures are really, really special. What I'm trying to say is that think about the relationship that you're developing with your subjects from the get-go, from the minute that you see them, right? And how are you going to foster that? That's all we're doing as photographers, because you can have the technical done, but this you have to figure out. So I was on a white psych, I'm in the jeans, and all the clients out there, and the photographer, I mean, I had like 20 people in front of me, and I'm just like, okay, here we go. Here we go. I've got the jeans on. Let's do this. Let's see what this guy's got. The photographer says to me, okay, you ready? I said, yeah, I guess I'm ready. He goes, just do what you do. In my brain, I'm going, just do what I don't do anything. I don't know what to do. So I just did what I just did my 5 moves that I did you do the thumbs in the pockets, you kind of look over here, you do a little cross-armed action, then you turn, you do it to the other side, there we go, and then I got done with the 4th move, and I'm like, I only got one left, I'm gonna do this one, and I think my face was like this, because when the ad came out, that was it. Do you know how uncomfortable it is to be in front of a camera and not be directed? You guys, do you understand what I just said? Because when you go in that other room and the model's there and you're not saying anything and you're just pressing the shutter on burst mode. Who had burst mode on yesterday? I was shooting this camera. I was like, what the heck are you trying to do? You think something's just gonna jump in there on its own? You have to foster that relationship. You got to do something. You got to make a connection. You guys have been great. As portrait photographers, it's our responsibility to do whatever it takes for us to get the very best out of our subject. We have to. Our goal should be to create an atmosphere that allows our subject to flourish in front of the camera, not one that stifles them. It's on you. You know how I know it's on you? Because if they were in front of my camera, I'd get them. Somebody gets out to lunch in front of your camera, they freak out, they freeze, they do this thing. I think it's coming up. Let me see. This. You guys, I use acronyms. When I'm coaching, I use acronyms. I just like them. So NEFA is an acronym that I made up. And this is the look. Ready? I'll take my glasses off for it. Looks like this. You shoot it. That's your problem. Guess what? If somebody's in front of my camera doing NEFA face, and they're in front of my camera usually in my studio, they're coming in for a photo shoot, there has to be progress. Like you put somebody in front of your camera, there has to be progress, right? So if they're blank in the face, guess what? If there's no progress if this button doesn't get pressed. If this button doesn't get pressed, nothing's happening. Guess what? If their face looks like that, this button does not get pressed. Why would you press the button? Stop that. And if there's no progress, guess what? There's not going to be any progress until they change their face. I'm going to force them to change their face. I want you to force them to change their face. Because why? What did I tell you before? They have absolutely no clue what their face looks like. You guys have to tell them. It's your job. Stop. Don't shoot until you have facial activity. There has to be facial activity. I love this Alfred Eisenstadt quote. Look at that one. That's a winner. Right? That's what it's about. If you decided to be a portrait photographer, if you decided to put a person in front of your camera and try to be a professional and get paid for it, guess what? This is what it's about. As much as anything that is now, if you take technically crappy pictures, you need some work in that department. But get that out of your way and get this going, right? It's important. It's more important to click with people than to click the shutter. Never forget that when you're photographing a person. I think that's super powerful. And it's what I predicate everything I've ever done on.
Some of the famous faces photographer Peter Hurley has captured with his camera.
Think about when you smile. What is it doing to the muscles in your face?
Hurley is one of the most successful and well-known headshot photographers in the world. And on this Thursday, he found his way to this classroom at Coalinga High School.
I have been teaching for quite a long time, but I've never come into a high school classroom and taught photography.
It was a relationship between teacher Julie Lance, who teaches ROP Digital Media Arts, and Hurley that got him here. The two met at one of his workshops in Las Vegas and kept in touch.
She had read my book and got through it, and she called me. And she said, I really want your book to be the curriculum for my class. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was so honored. I was like blown away by it.
He's the best in the world at what he does. Bringing him here would give these kids something that they will take with them for the rest of their life.
Nose this way a little bit.
Hurley conducted 3 workshops that day, teaching students about the importance of good lighting.
That's it. So you can set that light up first. See how it lights the cheek like that?
He talked to them about finding that sweet spot,
Hold that right there.
getting the perfect expression from your subject.
Give me the brow pressure. Squinch up the eyes a little bit more with the squinch. You did it.
It's a technique he developed and trademarked called squinching.
There's a fine line between your eyes being too closed and your eyes looking confident. And I physically would work with people to make sure that they could do it and it changed. I believe that changed my entire career.
The students who chose to be his models were in awe.
Here we go.
And learned a lot about themselves.
It was like mind-blowing, like to be in the presence of someone who's that good at what he does and to get the best pictures that he can out of you.
And for those who might want to do this as a career, hearing Hurley's story,
I say that stuff to make you laugh on purpose.
learning that he was self-taught, showed them a pathway.
And the whole time I was just taking notes and I was learning and I was taking it all in. It's such like a memorable day. Like, I'm so thankful that my teacher could bring him here.
Hurley knew he could only teach them so much in a 2-hour workshop. His goal was to inspire them.
If I walk out of here and they study my material because they were inspired by me, then that really did it. Because there's only so much I can do in a couple hours with these kids, but it means a lot for me to watch these kids' eyes widen and understand that this may be something that they could not only love for the rest of their life, but make a living at it if they wanted to.
Now, those students that were his subjects, they were able to keep their photographs.
Wow.
Which would have cost them thousands of dollars.
Course.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just so fun to watch these kids and see that they realized that they had a look, you know?
Yeah, and he was able to bring that out.
Yeah, he was a great teacher.
The best in the world, right front and center. How about
Right.
that?
Right at
That's
Coalinga
great.
High School.
Very
That's
nice.
fantastic. Thank you so
All
much.
right, that was really cool, the fact that I got to do that for those kids. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that was cool. I get to do that, and I get asked to do that. And it was just to be able to, and it's what I'm trying to do here. I want you guys to be fired up after this. I want you to walk out of here and go, I'm going to photograph somebody differently today or tomorrow or the next time you get somebody in there. That's what it is. And the fact that we have this to do it with, it's just amazing. But I think you guys should see me shoot a little bit, right? If I got to walk the walk, I got to talk the talk, I got to walk the walk, right? If I can't take a picture out of it, why would I listen to that guy? So I developed the Flex Kit with Westcott, and whenever I photograph somebody, let me turn this sucker on. I love it. I bring it everywhere with me, and I do women's lighting and I do men's lighting differently, but I got men's lighting set up right now. Would you do it? Yeah. Come on. I eyeballed him, right? What did I say? Come on up. Look at this. What's your name? Rich. Hey, Rich. Take this off. Take this off so we don't need that. All right, so Rich has the awesome beard. How could you not? Like, how could you? Look at this. He's got the hair. He's got the beard. He's got everything going on. Come on over here. Let me see. So actually, I'll show you what the process I go through. So I used to want to meet people before I shot them. I used to be like, oh, I need to be comfortable. I want to get comfortable, you know. And then I was like, that's a crutch. Like, the better director you are, I'm just meeting Rich. I'm going to try and take a picture of him. So the first thing I do is I suss people out. So what is sussing? To suss. You got to give them a once-over. Give them an up and down. You got to look at, once they're in your presence, you got to see how they behave when they're not in front of a camera. Now, he's in front of all you guys, so it's a little different. But, you see how they behave when the camera's not on them. So, and then you look at them. So there's a couple things that I first do. One of the things is I look at what their jawline's doing. I don't have to worry about that with him. If the beard was a little bit, if the beard had a little bit, I still got to get jawline. I might still get his chin out to position him or something. But it's a misconception that if somebody has a beard, you don't have to get the jaw out. You still have to. His is so full that I probably won't even worry about it. But, and then I'm looking at eyes. Does everybody know that most humans, a higher percentage of humans have an eye difference than a lower percentage? Did you know that? How many people know that they have one eye bigger than the other? Their parents really messed them up. Okay, right? It's true. We're human. These things happen. So I got to worry about sussing that out. And then I'm looking at eye color. So real estate in the eye, right? For me, a lot of photographers are like, oh, I like the eyes. Like there was this thing where I like big pupils. I was like, I like small pupils. So I use continuous light to constrict the pupil because he's got gorgeous color in his eyes. Wait till you see this shot I take him. And I want to constrict the pupil, so I bring more color out. And I want to get light in those eyes. You with me? Okay, so we got that. And then the other thing that I do is, have you had your picture taken recently?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Where are you from?
Pennsylvania right now.
Whereabouts?
Near Philly.
Oh, where'd you grow up?
Massachusetts, Boston.
Oh, good. Really? Oh, I went to BU. What did I tell you before? What am I trying to find? Common thread, right? Boston. All right, we got Boston down. All right, let's see. Follow my finger with your nose. Go this way a little bit. That's not bad. Go back this way. You fall apart a little bit on this side. You got nasal skew, a little bit of nasal skew to this side of your face. No, I'm kidding. You're fine. So. You're good. No, you're good. I'm just so what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out how to set up my key. Right? I want a key on the side. What I usually do is I put my. Are we speaking the same language here? I want to put my key on the side of the face that I think is his good side. So 60% of people are better on the, if you've seen me talk before, I say this stuff about the sides of the face all the time. So go nose back this way. So he's probably lefty's pretty good. Go back the other way. I mean, I think he might be ambifacial. He might, I don't really know. So I'm going to key him, let's see. Am I keying you left? Yeah, I'm keying you left. All right, I'm going to key you left. And we're going to set him up on the kick. Kick looks good. Let's do this. So I like my kick soft. So kick is the light that's going to be behind him, the reflective light. So I'm going to scooch this way. I'm going to set him up for that. Scooch this way. Is it Rick? Rich. I got you. Look at me. I'm going to put the camera here. So I need you to come forward a little bit. That's too far. Go half the distance. Keep going back. We got a situation. Those lights are hit. I got to block the light with the kick. Come forward a little, unless I use the light. I might use that looks good. Stay right there. Now I'm going to bring in this is my buddy Phil over here. This is my key. I'm going to use my buddy Phil, potentially. But actually I'm going to use negative Phil. Because he's getting hit with light. So what did I say? Professionals are the best regardless. I don't want those lights to affect my image. So I'm blocking them with negative Fill. All right, here we go. That's good. Now the key light, I want to get light in those eyes, but I want to create some shadows. So what I'm going to do, in order to create some contrast in my shots, what's the best way to do that? Who knows? There is a law that occurs when light gets closer to a subject's face, and there is a video online about it that I did that is awesome from F-Stoppers, so who knows what it is? Who said inverse square law? I didn't even know you were there. She knows because she took my class, right? It's not fair. All right. Rich, turn and face me this way, straight. Yeah, like that. Good. I'll get you, I'm sizing you up. He's being very patient. So guys, we got to talk about some gear. I mean, we do create this art with gear, right? So, Faisal CT3472LV tripod with an Arca Swiss PO ball head with an EOS R on top of it with the brand new 85 DSRF lens on it. Give me an ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. We're going to shoot and capture one onto my tether table with a tether cable from Tether Tools. All purchased at B&H. At B&H, I bought it all there. No, just bought it all. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, I did not take these pictures. Should I delete them? Did these guys get these pictures? So just leave them in there? Okay. Guys, I do have a booth in the back. Come see me when we're done because we're going to be shooting back there. You'll be able to use the kit. I want you to try it, and I want you to come see me. And if you want to do, I have a special running on the book and the book deal. And if you go to that link, you can sign up, and I have a bunch of books that I will sign for free. And it's at headshotcrew.com/shebang. But I'm in the very back over there. But let's get, Rich has been patient. All right, so we're going EOS R. Give me an ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. So you guys, if you look at this light as continuous light, if you're really good at photography, you should be able to know in your head what the aperture, ISO, and shutter speed of that would be for the exposure on him. By the way, he looks amazing. I pick him. I know how to pick him. But I'm going to guess. So what's most important? You can say it. I mean, it's not like it's no big deal. How many people say that the shutter speed is the most important? Nobody wants to raise their hand. ISO, aperture. Oh, yeah. Okay, why didn't anybody say it? What's the problem? You guys, all right, aperture, because that's going to change the depth of field look of my work. Since I'm on an 85-1.2, I am going to go at 2.8. Why? Because I've tested this thing. I know the look of my work. The look of my work, the eyes are in focus. I start to get a fade off the ear. The back shoulder is a little bit out of focus. If I go below 2.8, guess what? It starts to get too severe for my work. However, this lens is beautiful, and at 1.2 it looks amazing, but not for my commercial work. All right, so Rich, we're about to go. I'm at 2.8. Now, what do I need next? Shutter speed? Should we do ISO? I think we do shutter speed next, don't we? We do shutter speed? I'm acting confused, but I'm not. What, is he a jumping bean in there? Is he going anywhere? Am I on a tripod? What's our shutter speed need to be? What's it matter? I mean, you got to be between. If you go 1/60th and I'm on a tripod and he moves a little bit, I'll get a little bit of blur. 1/80th, I'm okay. 1/100th, I mean, you're pretty good. 1/125th, you're in bonus territory. 1/160th, it's over. Like, you know, it's whatever. So I try and stay in. We're gonna go 1/100th. And ISO, I want a beefy negative. Digital file, I mean, all the cameras go up to really high ISOs these days, but I just want to go, I like going low. I'm going to go 100. I like going low. All right, so now I'm going to direct you. Thanks for being patient. I made you stand in the lights forever. Hold on, we got to get this light is not set up for the way I do it. So inverse square law, we're going to dip, we're going to tilt, we're going to get it into his eyes. We're going to create a little bit of shadow density. And you're going to go chin out and down, 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 down. There you go, like that, but stand up very straight. I want you to act like you have a hook in the top of your head. Everybody do this. You have a hook in the top of your head. It's attached to a string up to the ceiling. You're standing up very straight. Why are you tilting like this? Stop that. Okay, it is cold. It is cold. All right, there you go. Stand up real straight. Turn your shoulders a little bit the other way. No, too much. I want you straight. Turn that right there. Now stand up real straight like that. Now GM the forehead out and down, 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 right there, right there. Nose a little bit this way. Stay right there. That's perfect. Don't move. Hang out right there. Nose a little bit this way. There you go. Chin down a little bit. Hold that. Now I'm going to go to the camera. You stay there. Don't just mind your own business. Chin down more than you think. More than you think with the chin down, Rich. Chin down more than you think. Hold that. Tilt your head a little bit. Yep, right there. Hold that. Right there, good. Now, he looks cool right off the bat, so I'm going to shoot it because 3, 2, 1! That was it? That's the best you could do? All right, let me see it. I mean, I picked the right guy. Look at this guy. All right, so now let's work on expression. We got the key, we got the light. What do you guys think? It's awesome. Did you see it? Can you see? Look right there. Look right there. Look right there.
Oh, it's great.
Is that cool? Shebang, right? Give me a fist pump. Good. All right, we're good. So now, okay, so here's the deal. What's distracting in that picture? Even though he's got a ponytail, you guys all saw it, right? He's got, oh, really? Put the ponytail behind you. Stand up straight, right there. Jam your forehead out and down. Chin down a little bit. Give me a little brow pressure. Look at this. Brow pressure. Nose this, yeah. Nose this way a little bit. Hold that right there. Hold that. Don't move a muscle. Hold that. Chin down slightly. I think it was a little hot. I'm going to bring them down a little bit. That's it. Corners of the mouth toward your earlobe slightly so your mouth starts to form a U, please. Stand up real straight. There we go. Stand up real straight. Turn your shoulders to me. You're tilting towards this wall for some unknown reason. There you go, right there. Now lean back a little bit. Now jam your forehead out and down. Tilt your head this way a little bit. Nose this way a little bit. So the beard really changes when he moves. Turn your body a little bit less. Stay there. Don't move. Look at my finger. Hold that. Don't move. Don't move. Look at my finger here. Squint your eyes a little bit. Squint them. Hold that. Don't move. Chin down more than you think. Hold on. Hold that. Don't move a muscle. Let's see. Am I hooked up still? Am I in? Did it go? I think I lost the connection with the computer. Oh, chin down a little bit. Eyes here. Eyes here. Squinch those eyes. Guys, am I delivering? He's got a left eye bigger than the right. Squinch your left eye. Don't squinch your right. Independent squinching. Hold that. A little bit less. Eyes to me. Eyes to me. Eyes to me. Eyes to me. Tilt your head towards the Canadian border. All right. Can we have a round of applause for Rich? Thank you. I got to get to those. Guys, so always in control, always doing something. I don't know what I love better. I mean, it's amazing. But somebody like that, I could shoot all day. It would be unbelievable. Let me just finish this up because I have 1 minute left. I'm just going to show you some stuff that I got going on if you are interested, but you can come by the booth. If you want to learn more, you got to check out Headshot Crew. This is my list of photographers. I give out jobs. It's not only a coaching, it's a referral service, and it does this for people.
All right, go ahead. Tell me what you got.
So I've been on the site for 6 months, and then in December, I got an email from the contact form. Somebody found me on the website. They said, hey, I've got 75 people coming in, 10 days. Can you shoot 75 people at a convention? I said, of course I can. So I gave them my price. I told them I was available. They booked me immediately. And so I ordered a Westcott Flex kit. I rented one because I didn't have the money to buy one. Rented one, got it in, started testing it, and some people in the forums helped me with the settings and everything. So I showed up 10 days later, shot 75 people, and I studied all your videos from F-stoppers. I studied everything on the site. And when I got there, I wasn't nervous. I knocked it out of the park, and they loved it. And so I really just wanted to thank you guys for, number one, getting me that job, and number two, having all this information out there that enabled me to be successful in this, because without all this information that you guys put out, I never would have done a good job. And so it made my December, I was struggling financially, and it made my December fantastic. I was able to, buy Christmas presents for my kid, and it went from being a terrible month to a fantastic month because everything that you guys do. And I just really wanted to thank you a lot. So,
dude, this is why I started this thing. That's the best information that I could get. You couldn't have made me happier.
Well, good. I mean, this whole thing saved my Christmas. And so I'm working real hard to get to associate status. And man, I just want to make you guys proud from here on out and contribute back.
You just did. You just did.
Well, good. I appreciate everything. So.
Dude, that's awesome. That's like the best thing I've heard in a long time. I mean, from because I know you guys do well, and I know the referrals go out, and I know you guys are getting jobs, but a lot of people just don't tell me because they think people are getting jobs all over the place. What do I have to tell Peter for? I mean, yeah, Beth, my emotions are on my sleeve. I mean, for you to have a good Christmas because of something that you learned in here and a job that you got directly from the site when you've been here 6 months, I mean, that means that this whole recipe is working. That means that my entire plan is a success. So, man, it
worked. It worked. So, thanks again.
Dude, I'd hug you if I could jump through there. I think we got to do a shebang, though. 3, 2, 1, shebang!
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.